Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so, first of all, I'm gonna start by saying my fucking week has been, I don't even know where to fucking start. Like, mentally, my guy. Woo! It's been a fucking roller coaster ride in this bitch. But however, I'm off my period, so I don't feel extremely depressed anymore. I realized as well that when I get on my period, like around those times, that's when my depression kicks in the worst, because, you know, I'm a woman and hormones exist. Yay. So, today's conversation, honestly, there's not really much of a research behind it. I'm just going to talk about how I feel, simple as, and I think right now I'm coming into this kind of weird space where I don't know how to explain it. It's like the inner work I'm doing is actually starting to work. I think that's what it is. I think it's just the inner work and the trying to expand my mind and trying to expand myself, and like I'm actually starting to see it work. Does that make sense? I'm not in like this huge where I'm just like, I don't need any external validation. I am one within myself. I love thyself. My guy, bruh. No. I think what the thing is for me is that, first of all, I'm drinking, and you guys should get on this because it's so good for your health and good for your skin. Green tea, ginger, and turmeric with some honey. You should get on this. I usually like make it in like a pot or pan and just boil it up and throw the ingredients in there. But yeah, I think for me right now, I think the key thing and the core thing behind this whole entire thing is the fact that I'm starting to realize that I'm starting to change my perception of what I think self-worth and self-esteem and finding oneself is. I got into the spirituality aspect of things and I got into the whole self-development aspect of things, not because I actually want to work on myself, just because I just didn't want to be myself. Does that make sense? I think I mistook reaching a higher self as no longer being myself. I feel like if you get it, you get it. If you don't, that's perfectly okay. I just think it's one of those things that life experience just kind of teaches you, on God. For me, it was like the last video I made, which is kind of about control and grappling with my idea of control. I don't know now, and I'm still grappling. I'm fighting every single day. I have to make a conscious effort to realize what I can control and what I can't control, you know what I mean? It's very hard for someone like me who's a massive control freak, but I spend a lot of time by myself, I think. It's too much time by myself. It's kind of bad now because I enjoy my own company too much. And, you know, dealing with social anxiety and anxiety in general, man, that shit fucks with your head. You know what the thing is? Depression is bad, but I'm gonna say anxiety is worse. Like, depression is bad in the sense of you feel shitty about yourself and you hate yourself, right? But at least within that self-loathing, you kind of feel a sense of relinquish because you are I'm naturally more impulsive. Remember, ADHD, my brain goes bing bong, bing bong. But, I'm not naturally impulsive. It's just the way my brain has been functioned due to having a mental disorder makes me impulsive. And with depression as well, it was easier as well to be impulsive because you don't really fear a lot because you don't really value a lot. You don't value yourself as a person, so you do more reckless things. Now, here's the thing. This is not me saying that being depressed is the most freeing thing in the world. It is not. It will still, that bitch still has me in a chokehold. You know what I mean? But I would mainly say anxiety is worse because you're aware that your fears are irrational, but you don't feel as though those fears are irrational. I hope that makes sense. I never really got the anxiety thing too much because I've always been kind of spontaneous and very impulsive, but after having, you know, life happen, my anxiety just went through the roof. It did. I came to this point where I literally couldn't even leave my house because I was so fucking terrified. Depression is not being able to go into the shower. Anxiety is not being able to leave your house. Two different things. You know? Every day it's a consistent battle. And it's a consistent battle, but I think what's happening with me right now is the fact that I'm learning that there is no other person I need to be but me. And that's not coming from a place of self-love, I'm going to be honest with you. It's really not. It's coming more from a place of self-acceptance. That's what it's coming from, I'd say. It's not coming from a place of, wow, I finally love myself and I love my guy, I still hate myself. I'm not gonna lie, I still hate myself. I still wake up on days and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so ugly, I'm so this, I need to lose weight. All of the whole shebang, but I'm accepting that it's okay for me to feel like that. On God, it's okay for me to feel like that. The difference is wallowing within that feeling and letting that feeling stop me from actually doing the things I want to do. That's the core difference. And that's the next thing I need to try and challenge in my life is how do I not let my depression and my anxiety take over my life? How do I allow it to come and to go? How do I allow these intense feelings that I feel to come and go? Because we are humans and we are all going through a human experience. And the human experience is one of so many emotions, so many roller coaster rides. There is no linear way to define the human experience. I'm not going to lie to you. I guess from an individualistic standpoint, you know what I mean? Everyone's experiences is different. But I think that today, at least, and I don't know if I can say this for every day. I can't say this for every day because, bro, mental illness is real. Like, I myself took that shit, even though I'm so severely mentally ill. I took it for granted. I sat there and I pushed it away and I pushed it away. And it's growing up in an African household. You know, the culture is we don't talk about mental illnesses. We don't talk about our issues. We don't talk about our problems. We just keep on going. Yeah, like I would say, I think the one running course, I think for me, the key quote that defines Nigerians as Nigerians is, if you do not laugh, you cry. We take everything as a joke. Well, at least my perception of Nigerians. We seem to take everything as a joke. We seem to just laugh it off. We seem to just, it is what it is. We forget that we are also still human beings. And we're also allowed to feel things. We're allowed to feel shitty about ourselves. We are allowed to feel amazing about ourselves. We are allowed to feel mediocre about ourselves. We are allowed to feel the whole entire spectrum. The difference, however, is to not let whatever you stand or wherever you stand on that spectrum consume you and your life. And right now, in this moment, I feel like I'm doing that, but I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what the reason why I feel like I can do that is because I'm trying to date again. Like, I have massive social anxiety though. Massive social anxiety. I don't like being in social situations. I don't like being around people. I don't think even like I'm a natural extrovert though. That's the ironic thing. I never used to be like this at all. I was always the girl with all the friends. I was the girl going out all the fucking time. I was the bitch, there's this thing going on. Let's go. You know what I mean? I was that kind of person, and now I'm no longer that kind of person because I'm no longer in that environment anymore. She's still there. Don't get me wrong. She's still there, and I think I've kind of kept that extroverted nature of me as my shadow self now. And it's turned from my light self to my shadow self. And I think the thing as well is really important. I feel like we need to eradicate this idea of higher self. There's no such thing as a higher self. Because I feel like the idea of trying to chase a higher self is this idea of chasing that you can be perfect. You're chasing an idea of perfection that does not exist. So I think for me, it's also that, eradicating the idea of higher self. And I'm trying to date again, and, you know, I'm not gonna lie, the dating pool these days is so fucking whack. You niggas is whack. All of y'all are whack. There is no good niggas on there. You know what I mean? I think the dating pool lacks honesty, and I think that's the key thing that I really need. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to date again, and, like, I'm talking to people, and I used to be like, Oh yeah, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. I don't need a nigga. I'm good on my own. I'm good on my own. I'm good on my own. I don't need validation from men. I don't need validation from anyone. Like, bruh, I know I'm pretty. I'm like, bruh, no, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You don't know you're pretty. You don't know you're that bitch. You can act like it all you want, but doesn't mean you feel like that. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. No one's expecting anyone to feel like they are the top tier all the freaking time. Like, if you felt like you were that bitch 24/7 and that nothing in this world could affect you, my guy, that's a God complex. That's what the fuck it's called. We have insecurities and we have, highs and lows because those stop us from developing narcissism and God complex. When I talk about narcissism, it's a bit more complicated because narcissists are the most insecure people you could ever meet. But however, they are so in denial of their insecurities that they become narcissistic. And when we become in denial of the fact that we don't feel good and we push those feelings away and we only accept only the good feelings, my God, we forget that we are not unbreakable beings. We forget that we're not God. You're not God.
Stop trying to be God.
Stop trying to be God. Travis Scott said it best. Stop trying to be God. And honestly, I cannot sit here and say that I'm gonna feel this way all the time. I will not tell. Like, bruh, tomorrow I could literally just come back on here and be like, life is shit. I don't wanna be alive. I can't leave my house. I need to be in control all the time. And you know what? That is perfectly okay. It feels weird to say. It feels weird to say that it is okay to not be okay. As corny as it sounds so cheesy. It sounds so corny. It really genuinely does. But my God, it's the fucking truth. It's okay to feel shitty about yourself. It's okay to require validation, my guy. Like, getting messages from people being like, wow, you're so pretty, or, talking to someone and that whole feeling and that rush of, ooh, I wonder where this is gonna lead, I wonder what kind of person you are. I don't know, more enjoying the experience of getting to know someone and the unknown. I'm enjoying the experience of the unknown. Oh God, I hope this makes sense. Honestly, it's one of those things, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, that is okay. It just means that you have to go through a certain kind of life experience or you have to do a certain kind of research in order to come to this. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I am a perfectionist. That's my problem. I'm a perfectionist. I feel as though, when I entered this whole spiritual thing, I felt as though I need to be perfect within this. I need to be perfect image of self-development and self-growth and self-love and spirituality. My guy, I'm not. I'm not Ramdas. I'm not the Buddha. I'm not God. I'm a human being. I'm flawed. And that is perfectly okay. Yeah, man. All I always say is just, everybody wants to feel like a bad bitch, and everyone deserves to feel like a bad bitch, but if you feel like a bad bitch by a guy complimenting you, that's okay. That's not a bad thing, babes. Validation is nice. It is nice. It's nice to feel wanted by an external being. It is. That whole message of you shouldn't feel validated by anything else but yourself, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Self-reliance is not good. If you rely solely on yourself, my guy, you will break. You need other people. You need community. We are social creatures. There's a reason why we have even a fucking birthing cycle in the first place. Because we need each other. We need to care for each other. We need to validate each other. We can't do that based on just self. And I think this comes from this whole living in the Western society. I think this whole idea of self-love within spirituality, that's another thing. Get rid of self-love. Self-acceptance is the way forward. Fuck self-love. My guy, you will not love yourself every day, and that is okay. But however, you will choose to accept yourself every single day, no matter what stage you are in. Self-acceptance is not being like, I'm not going to try and work on myself, and I'm not going to try and, improve myself, or try and, instead of having this trait, let me change that into a more positive trait that can benefit my life first. That's self-acceptance. Self-acceptance isn't just being like, well, I am like this and there's nothing I can do about it. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's called self-loathing. There's a difference. God. I don't know why. I I don't know. Honestly, it's because boys are calling me pretty. I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's just because boys are calling me pretty. That's it. Boys are calling me pretty, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm validated. This is nice. And it's okay. I used to be the same bitch who was sitting here shaming other girls for requiring validation from males. Don't get me wrong, there's a difference though. Because you pick me bitches, you like to fucking take it. I'm not talking about the pick me bitch. I'm talking about just a person I'm just talking about a person who's a person. That's it. I'm not talking about a person whose entire source of being, an entire, I don't know, you feed off of male validation solely, you know what I mean? You feed all off of ego solely, you know what I mean? And it's a hard place to reach, and I'm not really in a position to try and shame anyone, because I was in that place, my guy. I was the most egocentric bitch you could ever fucking meet. My ego and my pride was so fucking fat, and it still is now, don't get me wrong, but I've been humbled. I've been humbled. I really have been humbled, and it's good for me. It's good for me. It's shitty, don't get me wrong. Like, being in the situation that I'm in, it's very shitty, but I don't know. I think for the first time I'm trying to see this as a positive, because it actually is a positive. Like, I remember sitting here in my bed thinking to myself, like, Simi, you hate yourself so much, but do you really hate yourself this much that you think this is what you deserve? Do you really think you're that bad of a person that you think this environment you're in is what the fuck you deserve? Damn, man. Life's a bitch, and then you die. And not even in a pessimistic sense, it's just life is suffering. And suffering is good. Sometimes. The feeling of suffering is not good, but the development you get and the introspection you get during suffering is what makes it worthwhile. So yeah. So what am I really gonna say? If you don't feel like a bad bitch, go on a dating app. You know? If you're not feeling like that bitch today, go get your nails did. Walk down the street, get a nice wig on, put some nice makeup on. You know? It's okay. If you feel as though you cannot gain this sense of validation from yourself, it's okay to want it from someone else. As long as it does not become our personality trait, okay? Again, I'm talking to you pick me bitches, because I see you. I see you, okay? We do not bring down other women just for male validation. That's not the point of self-acceptance or understanding that validation and external validation is good. Do not misinterpret my words. Right. But if you can't find that validation in yourself, it's okay to go and find it elsewhere. It's okay. Take a dance class. Do something that you've always wanted to do. You know? Step outside your comfort zone. Because, honestly, self-reliance is just too much. It's too much. It is. It's a lot of burden to carry. And one day, I want to be able to just kind of release it. Or at least distribute it. You know, be comfortable enough to let someone else help me with my baggage. Or at least lift the load for me a bit, you know. I don't expect someone else to fix my baggage for me, but I would like to be in a community of people, whether that's friendships or a relationship, whatever it is, where I feel like I won't have to hold it all on my own. Okay, right. So now I'm really done. Long story short, boys are calling me pretty and now I feel sexy. Also, I discovered that this is such a way better angle for my fucking videos and stuff like that. Like, I just prefer this. This is so much better. And also, I get to sit on a chair. Oh, so good. But yeah, if you're a new person watching this, I appreciate you as always. And if you're someone I know, we just want to talk about it. Bye.